When they pulled me from the wreckage, I didn't know where I was, only that I wasn't on Earth. My body ached, every nerve screaming as unfamiliar hands dragged me across jagged metal. My vision swam, and through the smoke I saw towering figures in armor, their weapons glowing with blue plasma, aimed straight at me. I tried to speak, but all that came out was a garbled whisper. One of them knelt beside me, its insectoid face tilting in confusion. I must have looked like a monster to them. Then I caught sight of myself in the reflective hull of the broken ship. My breath caught in my throat. My skin was no longer the brown hue I remembered, it shimmered faintly, like living metal laced with patterns I couldn't comprehend. My eyes glowed with a soft amber light, pupils narrowed like a predator's. I looked alien. Wrong. But I remembered everything. My name. My mission. The betrayal. They took me inside a vessel, one that hovered silently over the broken remains of the battle. Inside, the air was sterilized, too clean. They strapped me to a table under beams of light, and I didn't resist. Not yet. I needed to understand what had happened to me. One of the medics murmured something. The translator implant, still barely functional, crackled in my ear. "Here's one of them now." "No," another corrected. "Look again. Here's something else." They thought I was one of the enemy. But I wasn't. I was the result of their mistake. A consequence they hadn't accounted for. They looked at me like I was some kind of unknown threat. But I wasn't the threat. I was the answer to everything they feared. Wo alien nahi tha, wo main tha. The facility was built into the side of a barren cliff on a moon I couldn't name. Red skies stretched overhead like torn fabric, and the wind carried dust so fine it seeped through cracks in the walls. Inside, it was cold. Not just the temperature, though that was freezing, but the silence, the isolation. I didn't see sunlight for weeks. I didn't hear another human voice for even longer. They kept me in a containment room behind layered force fields. Not a cell. A lab. Every day, a dozen species watched me through reinforced glass, studying me like I was some rare artifact dug up from beneath a forgotten world. They didn't speak to me. Not at first. They just observed. Took notes. Monitored my vitals as they climbed and dropped in ways no human body should survive. Eventually, one of them entered. Tall, pale blue skin, and 6 narrow eyes blinking independently. Dr. Vireth. The lead xenobiologist. He didn't flinch when I looked at him. He didn't speak right away, either. Just studied my face, as if trying to find the human still hiding beneath my altered skin. Then, finally, he asked the question that would define every encounter to come. "Do you remember the *Vigilant Dawn*?" I nodded. Yes, I remembered it all. The mission. The betrayal. The pain. He leaned closer. And the procedure they performed. My jaw clenched. I remembered that too. The injection had burned through my veins like acid and lightning. It rewrote me on a cellular level. I should have died. Instead, I changed. Dr. Vireth didn't call me human. But he didn't call me alien either. "Hybrid," he muttered. "Impossible. But alive." They didn't know what I was. But I did. I remembered everything. And I hadn't come this far to forget. At first, I thought the changes were just physical. My skin, my eyes, my resilience. But it went deeper. I began sensing things I couldn't explain. Thoughts. Emotions. Not words exactly, but intentions. Flashes of fear, suspicion, hunger, grief. When guards passed my chamber, I could feel their unease, their revulsion. I knew when someone lied to me before they even opened their mouth. I didn't ask for any of it. But I couldn't shut it off. One day, during a routine scan, one of the guards panicked. His mind screamed before his body moved. I saw it happen in slow motion, his hand twitching toward his sidearm, pupils dilating, heart rate spiking. He was going to shoot. So I moved. No thought. Just instinct. I lunged, twisted, disarmed him, and held him against the wall before the rest of the team even realized what was happening. I didn't kill him. I didn't even hurt him. But I could have. They knew that. From that day, I stopped being a subject. I became a threat. Dr. Vireth stopped visiting in person. They doubled the guards. Reinforced the walls. But none of it mattered, because the walls weren't what held me. It was a question, what am I now, ? I didn't get an answer. But someone else came looking for it. 3 days later, the base shuddered with the arrival of a new ship, sleek, black, humming with quiet menace. I recognized the design. Tazari. Not science vessels. Not diplomats. These were enforcers. They weren't here to observe me. They were here to retrieve me. Or destroy me. When the alarm sounded and the lights dimmed red, I knew it was time. I didn't belong in a cage. I didn't belong to them. And I wouldn't run anymore. The first explosion rocked the east wing. Power flickered. Sirens wailed. I was already on my feet before the lockdown protocols kicked in. The guards outside my chamber hesitated for a heartbeat too long, unsure whether to defend the facility or keep me caged. That hesitation cost them. I shattered the containment field with a focus pulse of bioelectric energy I didn't even know I could generate. My body moved on instinct again, faster, stronger, more precise than any human should be. I left the guards alive, disarmed and unconscious. They weren't my enemies. Not yet. Smoke curled through the corridors. The Tazari had brought breachers, compact, brutal machines that dissolved bulkheads with acid and stormed through in organized clusters. Their weapons were quiet, efficient. This wasn't an attack. It was a retrieval mission. They were here for me. But I wasn't going back. I moved through the chaos like a shadow. The base had dozens of choke points, security tunnels, escape shafts. I memorized their layout weeks ago. My mind worked differently now, faster, more fluid, absorbing information like it was hard-coded. I reached the hangar as the last functional skimmer was being prepped for evacuation. The pilot recognized me too late. I commandeered the vessel without bloodshed, took the controls, and launched into the scarlet sky. Pursuit came fast, Tazari interceptors, swift and unrelenting. But I had one advantage they didn't. I wasn't entirely human. And I wasn't entirely Tazari. I flew through the debris field surrounding the moon, my reflexes syncing with the ship like it was an extension of my body. Missiles exploded behind me. I pushed the skimmer past its limits, bleeding power. There was only one place I could go now. A black site Earth had long forgotten. But I hadn't. The black site was buried inside a drifting asteroid field near the edge of the Aelio's Verge, an old human intelligence relay station decommissioned after the Mars Rebellion. Its signal had gone silent years ago, but the infrastructure still floated out there, cloaked and inert. I found it by memory, instinct, and maybe something else, the strange intuition the Tazari grafted into my nervous system. Docking wasn't easy. My stolen skimmer was barely holding together, hull scorched, engine sparking. I managed to override the hangar doors using a bypass code I shouldn't have remembered. The interior was frozen, lights dead, oxygen thin. But I didn't need warmth or comfort. I needed the relay array. I powered it up with manual fusion reroutes, hands moving in rhythm with blinking controls. The moment the dish aligned, I opened a channel, secure, encrypted, old Earth military bands. And then I spoke. "This is Commander Ayaan Malik," I said into the cold silence. "Formerly of the *Vigilant Dawn Star. Presumed KIA. I have survived Tazari experimentation and carry vital intel. Repeat, I am alive. I am not compromised. And I am coming home." The signal blasted through space, bouncing off dormant satellites, piercing deep space listening stations. Somewhere out there, I hoped Earth still listened. But I wasn't naive. I knew the Tazari would detect it too. And so would Earth's defense network. Hours later, a fleet arrived, human vessels, bristling with weaponry, formation tight. They didn't send a welcome party. They sent a warning. "Unidentified ship. You are broadcasting with a corrupted ID. Step out and surrender. You will be treated as a biohazard." I stepped forward anyway. Because I had to look them in the eye. To remind them what I was fighting for. And show them I hadn't forgotten who I was. They didn't greet me like a returning soldier. They greeted me like a threat. As I stepped onto the deck of the command carrier Resolute I was surrounded by armored guards in sealed exosuits. Their weapons weren't just pointed at me, they were tracking my every movement, ready to neutralize me the moment I twitched wrong. General Reyes stood behind the line of guns. Older than I remembered, colder too. He stared at me like I was a ghost with a grenade in his hands. "We've seen what the Tazari did to others," he said. "None of them came back sane." "I'm not one of them," I replied. "No," he said quietly. "You're something worse. You're proof they succeeded." I didn't argue. I let them run their tests, scan my cells, dissect my blood under microscopes. Every hour, A new team tried to understand what the Tazari had done to me. They didn't like the answers. My DNA was still human, but enhanced. Rewritten. Adapted. The virus that was meant to erase me had instead evolved me. Faster reflexes. Cellular regeneration. Neural flexibility. But there was more. Something deeper. Embedded in my blood was a sequence. A pattern of alien origin, biological code that Earth scientists believed could be used to protect us. A kind of living firewall against future Tazari attacks. But it came with a price. If replicated, it would change anyone it touched. Not into monsters, but not into humans, either. A tool, Reyes said. Or a weapon. Maybe both. They'll come for it, I warned. For me. And they did. Europa fell within the week. Titan went silent next. The Tazari weren't just hunting worlds. They were hunting their mistake. And that mistake was me. The Tazari mothership emerged from deep space like a shadow eating the stars, massive, silent, cloaked in gravitational waves that shattered nearby satellites. It didn't send a message. It didn't make demands. It simply arrived, positioned itself above Earth orbit, and opened every weapon bay it had. The message was clear without words: return the hybrid. Or burn. Earth's defense grid activated instantly. Dreadnoughts, ion cannons, orbital mines, all came online. But we all knew the truth: they hadn't come to negotiate. They had come to erase what they created. Me. In the command chamber, Reyes looked at me with the weight of history on his shoulders. We could hand you over. End it now. You could, I said, stepping forward. But you won't. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. Because despite the fear in their eyes, they knew what I had become, what I represented. Not just a survivor. Not just a hybrid. A turning point. I led the strike team myself. Aboard the Blackthorn *, cloaked in stealth tech reverse-engineered from the very ship we were infiltrating, we punched through their defenses. The mothership was a maze of horrors, biological machines fused with metal, living nerves running along walls like wires. The Tazari didn't build ships. They grew them. At the core, I found the High Executor. The one who had ordered my transformation. He stared at me, unblinking. You were meant to be the first. I'm the last you'll ever make. I didn't kill him with hate. I didn't need to. I let him see what I'd become, something his empire feared more than extinction. I overloaded their core. Escaped just in time. The mothership burned in Earth's sky. And as people stared up in fear and wonder, they whispered. ****, wo alien nahi tha, wo main teacher. ****.